Hello, my friends. AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink. Welcome back to my channel and another STAMPtember limited edition collaboration. Today's collab is with PinkFresh Studio, and it is a stamp set. There's also a stencil set and a die set. So I will have links to the 3 different bundle options. And like all of the STAMPtember limited edition exclusives, these are one and done. When they sell out, they're not restocked. However, if you're not familiar with PinkFresh Studio, I will have a link to their product line. Definitely worth checking out. They have a lot of different products, and a big thing with them is coordinating sets similar to this, stamp sets or even like press plate sets. Love both usually. Plus coordinating dies, layering stencils, sometimes even like washi tape that like all of it, all the things worth checking out. Beautiful stuff. So I am heat embossing this floral frame image onto some Neenah Classic Crest Solar White 110 pound cardstock. And I used my anti-static powder tool, inked up the stamp with clear embossing ink, coating it with the embossing powder, and then I'll melt it with my heat tool. And this time I'm using silver embossing powder, which for me is a little bit of a step outside the box. I rarely reach for silver. It's beautiful. I like it. I just don't use it. I just don't. I usually go for gold. I like gold. But I was like, let's do something different today. So I use silver. So after everything was on there, tapped off the excess, melted it with my heat tool, and just like gold, any metallic embossing powder, one of my favorite things to do, because when you melt it, it's just like magic. It goes all shiny and metallic and beautiful, and I do love it. I love it. So I lined both these up onto one of my bigger grip mats. This is the Altenew one, and I'm using the coordinating stencils. Now, I love coordinating stencils, but I also love to color. And an image like this, while it might look intimidating to some, this would be really easy to color in. Like, if I didn't have the stencil set, I would have heat embossed these onto watercolor paper and then just done really simple, quick watercoloring, which I've shown in like a bajillion recent videos. I get my little water brush. I could use these exact same inks even, mush them onto a palette, quickly color it in with my little water brush. It would not take very long at all, honestly. As usual, if I'd had enough time to actually like do it for like film the footage, would 100% do it. So just an idea. Anyway, or like markers or whatever. Heck, you don't even have to. And if you didn't have the dies, another option I would have done would have been to just like this, stamp and heat emboss this, and then just do like an ombre ink blend across the entire background. And then the frame would pop out because the heat embossed image resists the ink. Add a sentiment, finish the card. That's another thing I would have done. So, since I had the stencils, I used them. I'll have links to the inks, but I used Dublin ink for the greenery. These are all Simon's Positively Saturated inks. I know PinkFresh also has like a fairly extensive ink line. I've heard good things about them. I just don't have any. It's kind of on the list. I'm curious about them. They have really pretty colors. They're so pretty, but I don't have them. So I used Positively Saturated inks. Yeah, Dublin for the green, and then I used Marine and Cadet inks for the florals, and then I'm going to use Gingerbread for the flower centers. And after I removed each stencil, I just wipe this with a microfiber cloth. That just picks up any of the ink sitting on top of the heat embossing. So if you've stamped an image, just stamped it with ink and then blended over it with stencils and whatnot, you don't have to do that. But with the heat embossing, that ink is sitting there even if you can't see it. And I'm trying to get in a better habit after using a stencil to just, give it a quick swipe with a microfiber cloth just to wipe off any ink sitting on top of the heat embossing, because I end up managing to, pick it up with my fingers or transferring it to a die cut plate or whatever, and then I get ink everywhere, So I die cut this and then set those aside. For my background, I pulled out Simon's Pepita background because I love this background stamp. And I just put it face up on my work surface, and I inked it up with that marine ink. And then I'm going to press in panels of some light blue cardstock. So press that in there. I'm not worried about getting the background perfect because we're going to die cut it and then we're going to add the splatter and all the other things. So I did that to the backgrounds, and then I die cut those backgrounds with one of the A2 Postage Rectangle wafer dies, just to give it that sort of postage edge that also obsessed. Love. Can't help myself. So ink those up, die cut them, stuck them in my splat box. Then I'm going to add a pretty heavy amount of white splatter. And I did this separately because I wanted a lot of splatter on the backgrounds, but I didn't want like a ton on top of the floral frame that I'm going to add after. So I did this first and added my white gouache to my palette, added some water to thin it out, and then, like I said, a heavy amount of splatter on top of these backgrounds. And I've been getting a lot of questions lately from people, specifically about splatter, and several people asking me how you get the bigger blobs. As you can see here, you just need more liquid on the brush. That's it. Because if there's not a lot and you're, really hitting the brush to get splatter and all you're getting is tiny little speckles, you just need more liquid on there. So like for this, because I wanted like a lot, you can see I'm like loading up that brush, just swirling in there, and like it's basically dripping and then adding the splatter. It just takes a little practice. And like I always say, even with all the practice, and figuring things out, splatter still has a mind of its own, It just, I find it all over the place. It's on my camera and my computer and my clothes. Anyway, after those were dry, I put foam tape on the back of this frame. That took a hot minute because it's a little bit finicky, but I put Big Mama foam tape on the back of it and then popped it into place. And then on the insides of my cards are top folding A2 white note cards. So 4¼ by 5½ inches. And on the inside, I lined up that frame and I'm stamping it with that marine ink. This is another option because this just ends up making like a clean and simple card. Sometimes that happens. So that's another idea for this set, is something like this, is just stamping it onto, like, have just a stack of cards. And you could just stamp it in different colors and then add a sentiment. I would stamp in different color, or even ink up the stamp in multiple colors, like do an ombre sort of look, and then stamp a sentiment in black, or die cut a bunch of sentiments and stack those and put those on top. But those are options too. Like I said, y'all, I just need more hours in the day. Sets like this where you've got like all the variety of like sentiments, different things, and you can never go wrong with florals, in my opinion. It's like, and just switching up the colors, like to do an entire set, like just like this, but do another set in yellow, one in pink, purples, reds, just how switching the colors will completely change like the feel of it all. So I adhered the card fronts to the card bases. Then I put the full cards back into my spot box. I'm using the white gouache again, but this time I smushed the royal ink, the darkest blue here onto my palette, and I'm adding water and I'm mixing this together to create my own custom color of splatter. Now, the thing to always remember with adding anything to whether it's white gouache, white paint, you can do whatever you want, is for the most part, you're never going to be able to get it really, really dark without adding a ton, like re-inker or just a lot, because you're trying to tint something that is white. So if I wanted like really dark blue splatter, I probably would just pull out one of my distress paints, like Prize Ribbon, or Blueprint Sketch distress paint. Perfection. But I was fine with this being like a little bit lighter, but if I'd wanted it like really deep and intense, that's what I would have used. So after I splattered that all over the cards, let that dry. While it was drying, I white heat embossed a couple of the sentiments from the set onto some blue cardstock. I'd actually originally, and I don't have the footage, but I had originally used the silver embossing powder, but I found the silver didn't stand out enough on the darker blue cardstock. Like, it's pretty, but it didn't pop. So I redid it with the white embossing powder. I like that a lot more. I die cut scraps and adhere them behind just to give the sentiment an extra little bit of dimension. And then I pop these into place with the same Big Mama foam tape and a little bit of glue. And then my final little embellishment is some PinkFresh Lagoon glitter drops. I bought all these back when PinkFresh first released these in their little in their cute little packages. I ordered like all of them. I forget how many years ago they came out with these. And I was just digging through them the other day when I was looking for a very specific color of bling. Because I told you all I have like 5 million colors, multiple lifetimes of bling. And yeah, I was like digging through my stash and I came across all these again. I was like, oh yeah, I've got all these little glitter drops and they're amazing. So perfection. Love when that, comes together. So I adhered a few of those with liquid glue. I let the glue dry and that finished off the cards. So like I mentioned in the beginning, I will have links to all of the things in the description box below the video. You just got to expand it. And it's all going to be there. The collabs, the PinkFresh brand, and then everything that I used to make these cards will all be linked below. Thank you all so very much for hanging out with me, for thumbs upping and commenting, letting them robot overlords know you like what you see. I very much appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't. I'd love to have you. And I'll see you all very soon in the next video. Bye. Thank you so much to my amazing Patreon supporters. For anyone that might be interested in joining my Patreon community and supporting me, the link to my Patreon is in the description box below the video. For everyone else, as always, thank you all so much for taking the time to watch my videos, for thumbs upping, commenting, subscribe if you haven't, I'd love to have you. And here's a couple other videos for you to check out in case you missed them. Bye!